So when it comes to kids releases, what I like to do is kind of view them through the eyes of my kids and share those thoughts with you, with the exception of the few shows that I watch for myself. And that's going to be one of the ones we're going to start with, which is Batman the Brave and the Bold. Now, this is the kids' version of Batman, but this is a show that I enjoy very much. It's a kind of fun, lighthearted look at the Dark Knight, and it is something that's really enjoyable. The kids like it, I like it, sort of a win-win for everyone involved. This is Season 1, Part 2, which gives you a handful, 13 new episodes, all on a 2-disc set. Lots of fun there. No extra features this time around, which is kind of disappointing, but it's a really great show. Every episode sees Batman teaming up with another DC superhero, and in this case you get some of the really cool, like, more obscure superheroes. In addition to, like, Aquaman, there's also Robin and Green Arrow, but then you get, like, Red Tornado and Dr. Fate, and even Sherlock Holmes shows up in this season set. So I'm very excited about this one. It's a lot of fun. Definitely worth checking out if you like the Batman at all. Next up, we have a Peanuts double feature, A Boy Named Charlie Brown and Snoopy Come Home. And let me tell you something about Snoopy Come Home. When I was a kid, that is the cartoon that would make me cry my eyes out. So there's definitely a nostalgia pick at work here for me. I have always loved Charlie Brown, and I like the Peanuts specials very much. They don't necessarily age as well as they could, but they are still fun to see. Of course, A Boy Named Charlie Brown is sort of your quintessential Peanuts special. Charlie Brown's getting ready for his first pitch of baseball season. Lots of other fun stuff happens, but Snoopy Come Home is really the one that took me back, and it still, I don't want to say it brings a tear to my eye, but certainly gets me just a little bit choked up. So that's worth watching. Now, this is an interesting one. It's a 2-disc set. These are both kind of like feature-length movies. They run just shy of an hour and a half each, which is great. So you do get a lot of bang for your buck here, even though there are no extra features. Again, Warner was doing this great like Snoopy in the 70s, Peanuts in the 80s, Peanuts in the 60s collection thing. This is a Paramount release. I'm not sure why they have the rights to these, maybe because they were films rather than the TV specials. So if you have those other collections, this is probably still a good one to pick up because it doesn't look like they're going to show up in those series anytime soon. Next up, we have Veggie Tales, 'Twas the Night Before Easter. Now, Veggie Tales is one of those shows I've never watched, never had much interest in. It's slightly religious-based theme, not something that I necessarily pay attention to. But my kids like it, you know, and they're young. I don't think they pick up on the religious overtones. In this case, they just like watching a cool computer-generated Easter adventure filled with talking and singing vegetables. So it's kind of a fun show. It's not necessarily something that I would go out of my way to put on for them, but they like it, and I don't really have any complaints about it. In this particular one, on the 'Twas the Night Before Easter, there are some extra features. There's an audio commentary, a Hopperina sing-along, a behind-the-voice featurette. There's a backstage pass to VeggieTales Live. There are some Easter cards, interactive matching game, and that's about it. So it's kind of a neat release for kids if you're looking for something for their Easter basket. Next up, we have Wow Wubbzy, Wubbzy's Eggcellent Easter, which breaks my rule of using the word excellent as an Easter-related pun, but I'm going to let them slide because they do give you a couple extra features, like a coloring and activity sheet that you can download, a music video, and some trailers. Now, Wow Wubbzy is one of those shows, much like Veggie Tales. When I first started watching it, I thought it was a little strange. I didn't quite get it. It's still a little strange, but my kids have started watching it just recently, and they seem to really like it. And now that I've sat through a good handful of episodes, I have to say that while I don't get it, because clearly I'm not a 4-year-old, it's cute. It's a cute show. It's kind of fun. This particular disc set includes 6 episodes that are all themed around one over Easter eggs, and then stuff like bunnies and birds and stuff like that. Things that kind of are all, you know, light and fluffy and sort of Easter themed. So it's a cute show. Not my favorite kids cartoon, but certainly one that I don't mind at all. Next up, we have Chuggington, Chuggers to the Rescue, the first DVD collection of the hit Chuggington show from the Disney Junior channel. Now, this is a funny one. My son really likes trains. He loves Thomas. He does like Chuggington also, although he hasn't quite gotten obsessed with it yet, so I don't think it's his favorite, but it's actually a very good show. It's got a great voice cast. It's got really nice animation. Obviously, it's themed for younger kids. It's not a show that I go out of my way to watch personally, but as far as kids shows go, it's definitely not offensive, and it's definitely not one of those ones that you want to, you know, stab yourself in the ears with a pencil like watching Barney or Dora. You get 6 episodes on the DVD. There's also a puzzle game, some coloring activity sheets, and some trailers. So a pretty solid release there with a running time of just over an hour. Next up, we have Invader Zim, Operation Doom. Now, I know very little about Invader Zim. I know it's fairly popular. I also know it's by the creator of Johnny the Homicidal Maniac, so I'm not quite sure why this is a Nickelodeon release, but I sat down to watch it expecting kind of a fun cartoon because I know it's this very sort of popular cult type thing, and I do not get this cartoon in any way, shape, or form. I don't understand what's going on. I don't like it. I don't like the animation style. I don't like the humor. I certainly wouldn't let my kids watch it. I get that it's probably for older kids than what I have, and that's fine, but if somebody like me who collects comic books and likes science fiction and likes black humor can't get into this show, then it's just geared for a different audience than what I am, and I'm not sure what that audience is, but I can tell you I did not like this show even a little bit. It doesn't help any that this isn't like a complete season. It's sort of just a collection of episodes, random episodes. There are like a dozen episodes on here, and that's great if you like the show. I would rather seen it come out in like a season collection, but regardless, this is not a DVD that I will be revisiting anytime soon. No extra features on that one, by the way. Next up, we have Debbie and Friends, story songs and sing-alongs. And this is one of those interesting things that, again, comes across my desk. I'd never really heard of Debbie and Friends. I think it's one of these sort of started on the internet, became a little popular. There's a CD out there. But basically, Debbie and her friends sing songs about things that your kids would know. You know, Cinderella, Jack and the Beanstalks, you know, the Three Little Pigs, Little Red Riding Hood, Goldilocks, and then some more original songs just about, you know, things like opposites and baseball and do's and don'ts and stuff like that. And it's basically animated videos to these songs from this popular CD. And I have to say, it's pretty catchy, it's pretty enjoyable, it's very much geared for young kids, but since I have young kids, it's something that I can put on and they enjoy. They have not become quite fully enraptured by it yet to the point where we have to watch it every single day, but that's a good thing. They like it, it's fun, I can put it on in the background while they play, and like I said, the music is kind of cute and kind of fun and kind of catchy. There's about a dozen music videos on here, and then a couple of live performances, which is nice, because I like to see what these people look like, and not just their cartoon avatars all the time. So you get 2 live songs, and some outtakes in addition to the 10 or so animated videos. So a fun disc, great if you have young kids, nothing too taxing on their brains there. Next up we have iCarly Season 2 Volume 3. This is a 3-disc set of episodes of iCarly, which is a perfectly acceptable Nickelodeon show. It's not really geared for the young kids, obviously. I wouldn't let my children watch it. It's not as young as a lot of the stuff in this set, but it's good for that sort of young kid leaning into the tween age. And, you know, it's 3 discs. Each disc has about 6 episodes on it, including an extended version of the I Saved Your Life episode, and a couple of extra features. There's a pilot episode of the Tough Puppy Show, and there are some shorts as well. It's, you know, iCarly is fine for what it is. It's the kind of show that, like I said, it's not offensive. It's certainly not as annoying as something like Hannah Montana. And again, too old for my kids, but certainly worth checking out if your kids like it. And if they do like the show, you know, 3 discs, 15 or 16 episodes, you really can't go wrong with that. Pretty solid bang for your buck. Next we have Sesame Street, Silly Storytime, guest starring Kermit the Frog, and mostly starring Elmo, which is of course the Sesame Street that most kids love. And of course this is basically Elmo and his friends doing sort of your typical kind of fairy tales as silly stories. So we get 3 sort of mini episodes in this disc. Wake Up Sleeping Grouchy, which of course has Oscar the Grouch, The Tale of Rapunzoe, which is Rapunzel as told with Zoe in the title role, and Can Telly Help Jack Grow a Beanstalk? I hope you can figure out which fairy tale that is sort of lampooning. So basically, there are 3 mini episodes, 4 Muppet News Flash segments, and actually 1 bonus feature, which is rare for these Sesame Street discs. It is a Wish for Grover animated storybook, and these are things my kids like. They're really into the animated storybooks lately, especially on my iPhone, so that was a fun feature to have. As always with the Sesame Street discs, it runs under an hour, so it's not the most bang for your buck out there in terms of what you're getting content-wise, but it's Sesame Street. What parent doesn't like their kids to watch that? I know I do, and my kids enjoy it as well. Finally, we have Madeline on the Town. And this is, of course, the Madeline cartoon. The disc is released by Shout Factory. It includes 6 adventures, and those are Madeline in the Wedding, Madeline on Stage, Madeline in the Fashion Show, Madeline at the Ballet, Madeline at the Costume Party, and Madeline's Birthday at the Zoo. perfectly fine show. Not really my cup of tea, but I'm not really a 10-year-old girl. My 4-year-old daughter likes this show a lot. My son doesn't do it for him. He prefers either live action or the computer-generated stuff still over the 2D animation. Although sometimes he likes it. But in this case, I just think the subject matter isn't really his thing. My daughter, however, loves anything girly, and she enjoys this show. So who might stand in her way? No extra features, but it does run over 2 hours, so that's not bad.